Hello everyone, I am James and welcome to a Snapshot video. Today we'll be looking at the bees. When looking at the bees, you'll see that they have two primary colors throughout their body, yellow and brown, including stripes. On the face, they have two antennae and two eyes, which are black with light blue pupils. However, these eyes will turn red with white pupils when angry. On the underside of their body, they have 6 tiny little legs, and on the back, they have one tiny stinger. And on the top, they have 2 semi-see-through wings. Now, when we look closely, you'll see an animation start to play, even without AI. What you are seeing here is the flying animation of the bee, and its passive buzz. Here is the attack animation, and the angry buzz. These are the bees flying around with AI, and some of them, as you can see, have collected pollen, but we'll get into that in a little bit. First, this is the bee nest. It is a new block added in the update that has 6 in-game debug stick registered settings, other than the direction, of course. And those are the honey level, starting at 0, going up to 5. And at 5, the texture will change to be full of honey. At this point, you can harvest the honey, either with a glass bottle to get a honey bottle, or, if we refill the honey, with shears to get honeycomb. But I can do that without any consequences when there are so many bees around. That's only because I'm in creative mode. How about we see what happens in survival mode? Although you might want to back up a bit first. If we go up to the nest with the bees around, we will see that they are actually neutral mobs. Neutral as opposed to passive because, yeah, they will fight back if you attempt to harvest the honey from the nest. They will also attack you if you attack any of the bees. They will also operate zombie pigman behavior, as in you attack one and all of them will become aggressive. As you can see, their stings will actually apply the poison effect. They are also dying immediately because I forgot that my armor has extremely high thorns. It's just the test armor. But what happens if we get... how much damage do they do through 0 armor? One and a half hearts from the sting itself, and then quite a bit from the poison. However, poison cannot reduce you below half health. However, even without the thorns effect, the bee will still die after it stings you. Because when it loses its stinger, it's going to die. Just like IRL. So we've moved quite a far distance away from there, just to be on the safe side, to look at the honey bottle, as this is actually a drink. Obviously, it's a bottle, but it's also a food source. That's what it sounds like to drink, eat it. whatever word we'd use at this point for the game. But it also can refill your entire saturation, which is quite powerful. It's also quite good on the hunger bar as well. Although, unlike golden carrots and a lot of other food sources, it can't exactly be stacked. Also, it only really refills your saturation when your hunger bar is already full, which mine wasn't either time I drank it, and I don't have any more in my inventory. But then, the reason it doesn't refill my saturation at all entirely could just be because of the snapshots. Either way, I also want to show what we can actually do with the honeycomb. Because, well, it ain't a food source. If we go to the blocks, it isn't actually in this one. And why would it be in the redstone? There it is. It is under the decoration. You craft the bee hive using 3 honeycomb and 6 planks of your choosing. The beehive is this item here. It is basically just the craftable version of the bee nest. And what I didn't show, and this does apply to both the nest and the hive, you can silk touch it to keep the honey value. You can also use the silk touch enchant to collect the actual bees inside the block. I don't know if there was any bees inside of this one, and I am unaware of any way to check without commands. And, well, we all know how much the data command annihilates your chat. So, either way, what happens if you break it without silk touch? Well, you don't get anything. And there was a bee in there. I am glad I put my armor back on. Well, now you know what happens when you break it and there's a bee inside. Also, I did not put that bee up there in the sky. Or all of these other seemingly no AI bees all around the place. Bees just have a tendency of freezing in place until attacked. Snapshots are buggy. Bees do not drop anything. I just killed that one with a looting 1000 sword. And they are also most certainly not immune to knockback. The honey of the hives or nests can also be harvested by a dispenser. However, you don't actually need there to be any honey in to actually use the bottles. But then that's for snapshots. In contrast, the honeycomb seems to be working somewhat decently. Let's just make sure that it actually can harvest at all. Yes, it can. So the shears are working. Bottles, not so much. But then, that's for snapshots. Also, they work with spawners, so you can place down a bee spawner. So let's talk about that pollen thing from earlier. You can see how their texture changes, and you can also see them leaving the hive. But how do they get the pollen? Well, they get it from flowers. Bees will always go between their hive or nest to flowers. They will first look for those flowers, and when they find one, they will share the flower's location with other bees. And they will collect pollen from those flowers take it back to the nest, which is when they go inside the nest or hive, and then when they come out, that is what increases the honey level. So, the question is, does that really work? Well, snapshots. So, of course it's buggy. But for the most part it works fine. Although, they don't really like it when it's raining. Bees don't like the rain. Although, again, snapshots are buggy. So, that doesn't work either. But they will try to go back to their nests when it's raining to hide. When they work, that is. Now, we know that bees don't like the rain. But what about water? They will attempt to avoid water. And they can escape 1 block high water. Spawn it 2 blocks or lower in water, and it'll just sink and slowly drown. So, well, that's sad. Really sad. Bees also can be breeded with flowers. Well, when you've got 2. And look at the little baby bee. So cute. Bees will also follow you when you have flowers. But I'm in a very small area. Well, you can actually see that anyway. So, this is what it looks like to have so many bees that your Minecraft can't even handle it. This isn't even how many are actually loaded. This is just how many are in my field of view. Anyway, with this swarm, I think it's time to say goodbye. And I hope you have all enjoyed and found this useful. And I'll see you in the next video, which hopefully won't be so buzzy. Goodbye.